Hey! I love doing neat videos like this because it's kind of out of the normal of the videos that I do. And I've been asked about this before. I'd actually like your input too. There might be something unusual, and this is a short list of foods that you should keep, non-perishable foods. You know, for one of those it hits the fan situations, and everybody should actually have, per person, depending on how many people in your house, at least, now my opinion, and it's on my own personal opinion, no less than 2 months per person's worth of food. Some people say a month. I think that is way too short. I myself always keep about a year's worth, nearly a year's worth anyway. I moved actually a lot of my non-perishable food, some of it anyway, to my cabin. Now, I am not a prepper person at all. I always have my entire life believed in being prepared. Always, because chance always takes the side of the mind which is prepared. And you actually see these prepper people on TV, and they have all sorts of wackadoodle, a lot of them do anyway, wackadoodle ideas in their head. And it's always a good thing to be prepared. I mean, that aspect of them is good. But, you know, so I don't really associate myself with them because there is a stereotypical aura that is around. I just believe in being prepared because I've seen things. And you may have too. There is a certain segment of society, and it's not, I think it's more prevalent in Europe and in places. It depends on how you grew up. Some people, you know, grew up in the city and everything's been going fine their entire lives and just think, well, you could always go down, you know, stroll down the street and pick something up at the grocery store. It's like, well, what if you, the thought has never passed through their heads. Like, well, what if you can't? You know, what if the grocery store is, and a lot of people have actually seen that and they're actually starting to wake up. And so it is always a really good idea. But anyway, I like to talk about some things, and in no particular order. Well, I'd actually like to talk about the most important one. I have many jugs of this stuff. This is my favorite. Ugh! And this is pure, raw honey. Now, I actually myself hate clover honey. Some people love it. I think it sucks. This is orange blossom honey from my favorite folks. I've made videos about them before. I have many jugs of this stuff. Let's talk about honey very, very quickly here. Some of you may not know this, and some of you might. Honey is the only food on earth, if it's real honey. By the way, the stuff you get at the grocery store, like at Walmart, whatnot, it's usually been cut with corn syrup. It's not raw. Raw could be dangerous for young little kids, so look into that. Could be. Technically, it is supposedly, I've never heard of a case, but maybe the cases exist. I need to say that as a disclaimer. But that stuff you get in the grocery store, 9 times out of 10 is not real, and it's definitely not raw. And every beekeeper will tell you that. Don't take my word for that. And they've also told me. The honey is the only food on earth that never, ever goes bad. Ever. I don't know if it's the tomb of King Tut they found honey, but all they do is add some water to rehydrate it, and it was perfectly edible again. Some people were starving in Antarctica, and they found like a 100-year-old camp where some food was known to have been stored by a 100-year-old expedition. And the crackers were nasty, but they were, because it's in deep freeze in Antarctica. But the honey, you know, 100%. Honey never ever goes bad. Never. Also, too, honey, look this up too, is better than Neosporin for healing a cut. Honey there's a long list of the 1,000 things you could do with honey, so there's no such thing as storing too much honey. It has countless uses and it's never going to go bad. Powdered milk, because of what's been going on in the world lately, powdered milk has been really hard to find. It has reappeared, but I myself believe in storing away large amounts of, just me personally, I want the real stuff, the whole powdered milk. Also too, rice. Rice needs to be stored in a cool, dry place. Needs to be stored in containers that don't allow any humidity in. But dry beans or lentils, also too, proper storage, desiccant. You know, at the very minimum, they have these vacuum-sealed giant Ziplocs where you suck out the air. Oxygen is what destroys most food, of course. I have a lot of dried beans stored. Canned fruit, I have a lot of canned fruit. A lot of canned fruit. The good stuff, like what I've been saving, is Spanish, and it's good for 4 years. My favorite thing in the whole world, and everybody knows, well, most everybody does, that's ever had an MRE from the military. They really taste horrible. There's a few good ones, but they suck. This is the best stuff in the world, and it's easily the best stuff. And then there's tons of different flavors. I've tried most of them. Spaghetti, lasagna. My favorite is biscuits and gravy. This is also too really good. Freeze-dried spaghetti with meatballs. All of these, if you get them fresh, are good for 30 years. Literally, and this sounds like a joke, the best lasagna I've ever had is the freeze-dried Mountain House. Look this stuff up. You could buy it in bulk on eBay even. Mountain House, I believe, and I've got hundreds of Mountain House, and I said they're good for 30 years. So all the ones I have are going to outlive me easily. I'd have to literally live past the age of 80 for me to break past the expiration dates. When does this expire? Oh, it expires in 2050 something. I'm not going to be around that long. So Mountain House meals. Dry pasta, spaghetti, also too, proper storage, cool, dry, preferably vacuum sealed. Nut butters. I hate peanut butter. I could eat peanut butter. But peanut butter should be called peasant butter. My favorite stuff in the world is either cashew butter, which is pure. This stuff only has one ingredient, by the way, even though I can't stand Trader Joe's because it's such a snobbish store. This is pure sunflower seed butter. This stuff is incredible. I'll never eat peanut butter again because this stuff is so good. Everybody should try this. Literally one ingredient. Well, there's some salt in it too. So sunflower seeds and salt, 2 ingredients. No sugar. I don't actually like sugar added to stuff. Just because I'm fat doesn't mean I like sugar. Dried fruit. Some people like buy dehydrators and dry their own fruit. I don't have time for that garbage. I'll buy dehydrated fruit. Canned veggies. Favorite thing is really good gourmet dry soup mixes. That stuff also too, if stored decently, will last a perdurable eternity. It's got dried tomatoes in it and dried little lentils. I mean, it makes beautiful soup if you get the really good stuff. I can't think of the stuff that I buy, but it's kind of expensive. But anyway, high quality dried soup. Beef jerky doesn't last an incredibly long time, so you just eat it as you go. But stuff like this, you don't have to worry about eating it as you go, especially too honey. Honey and this stuff, because this stuff's good for 30 years, and honey never ever goes bad. Literally. And think about it, they're eating honey that out of the Egyptian tomb that they pulled it out of. Thousands and thousands of years old. You could still eat it, and it was dehydrated, but they rehydrated it with some water. Good to go. That's all you do with this stuff too, by the way. You pour some boiling water in it, and you stir it a little bit and seal the bag back up. This is not like military MREs. This stuff is really good. People that like hike and camp for a living will tell you. And I used to do a lot of hiking and backpacking. This stuff is really, really good. So tell me what you think. I mean, obviously I didn't list everything. There's a lot of stuff that you could list. Maybe these are the primary ones. I consider powdered milk to be really important. I'm not a fan of rice, so I get Basmati rice, which of course is also rice, but regular rice to me just tastes like garbage. I hate rice. Rice is not food. Rice is what you eat when you don't have food. Basmati rice, however, is aromatic and really tasty. I made all sorts of jokes against rice. It's like, hey, we don't have any food in the house, but we got some rice. You want some rice with your food? Now you got your food, you want some rice? I got all sorts of rice jokes because it's not, I don't consider it food, it's just starch. So anyway, these are the things that, check out my next video on my go bag. I don't know if you know what a go bag is, but everybody in the world's been asking me about it, and I've uploaded a link to the contents of my go bag, and I'll show it to you. And anyway, let me know what you think. Best non-perishable foods that are extra yummy. There might be a few things I've not thought of, so tell me what you think. I love getting ideas from you folks, by the way, actually. Thank you.